From Idaho's News Channel 7, this is Friday Night Football.
Welcome into Friday Night Football, this Halloween edition. I'm Jordan Smith. Austin Parr alongside me.
Playoff edition.
Playoffs? Playoffs? This is exciting. And we had a lot to talk about, especially this first matchup of the night, which drew a lot of controversy among those following the 6A brackets.
4 teams on byes, 8 teams in action. The mantra pretty simple. You win and you survive. Owyhee was originally supposed to play Mountain View based on the rankings. 2 teams did not put their scores in, so they end up having to play Rocky Mountain. Would that hurt or help them? Let's show you how it happened. The first game of the night, Rocky Mountain and Owyhee. The Storm trying to create a storm over at Rocky Mountain High School. Kalen Custer and the Grizzlies getting it going early and often. 3-0 already until Oakley Baxter finds the end zone from just outside of 10 yards. His first touchdown of the evening. The Storm could not get anything going offensively. That hit looked like it hurt. It was a tough night for Owyhee to get anything going, and Rocky Mountain really took advantage. This is a 4th and 17. They go for it. He looks like the punter at Boise State named Oscar Doyle. Tosses it to the running back. They pick it up. Student section loves it. And then it's Rashawn Jones' time. Watch this play down the sideline.
Ooh.
Nasty stiff arm.
Up in the grill.
Almost finds the end zone. Takes me out on the sideline. How about a swing pass to number 6? He would find pay dirt, Rocky Mountain all over Owyhee. Owyhee would get a score late. Rashawn Jones would find the end zone for the second time on this 4th down play. 38-8. Grizzlies moving on, taking on Eagle next week.
That is going to be a marquee matchup, and Rocky Mountain looking scary good this Halloween night. I was noticing on that last play, it's like they've got all of these star players, and then they're going to incorporate the RPO, so you just have to pick and guess correctly. I mean, this is a team that is so tough to stop.
The reason why that Timberline was so successful against them is because their defensive line got pressure all night long on Custer and made him make decisions he's not necessarily used to. So if Eagle wants a script, they should look at that Timberline game.
Maybe study the film there.
Hey, maybe we'll see that coming up next week.
Well, Middleton and Capital, they played once this season already. They would rematch here in the first round of the playoffs. And watch this. Early on, Capital's forced to punt the ball away, but it appears to hit the Vikings return man and then bounce free, and that would be a fumble. Capital's all over it. The refs rule it Middleton football, though, seemingly inexplicably. But as we slow it down there, it does look like the return man didn't have enough space to maybe catch the ball. Coach doesn't love that call, but doesn't matter. Vikings are in business, and they'd stick to this game plan. Give the ball to Jake Perez. That running back uses every bit of that 6-foot, 180-pound frame, and he just bulldozes his way into the end zone. Vikings up 15-0, but the Eagles, they've got a running back of their own, and they would fight back. This is Silas Crane. They can fly, they can run, too. Look at that cutback. Crane goes into the end zone untouched. Touchdown Birds. The Vikings would respond. They would fool me on this play. Perez takes the direct snap, and he flips it to the other speedster. That's Ryan Lewis, Macklemore's music producer, playing football now. And he says, "Get off me," with that stiff arm. And then you guessed it, they feed it to Jake Perez. He finishes the job, and this was his 3rd touchdown of the half. The Vikings conquer the Eagles 64-34. That is a statement win in the first round of the playoffs. And I was telling you during the newscast, we didn't really give a whole lot of attention to Middleton. Most people didn't, because Perez was actually hurt for the first start of the season. But look at them storm back, and they are a force to be reckoned with.
Their offense runs on rushing the football. I mean, that's just what it is. You saw it with Perez there. We talked about it with Rocky and why they struggled against Timberline. Well, Rocky kind of did the same thing to Middleton. They got a lot of pressure up front, forced long 3rd downs. Middleton wasn't able to rush the football against Rocky, and Rocky dominated that game. So it'll be very interesting to see next round of the playoffs, if they play a really talented defensive line, how they can get the ball to Perez and get him going early and often.
Right.
Because I feel like Middleton's a great team when they're playing from ahead. They rush the football so well.
They control the clock.
Right. Not necessarily great at playing from behind. And that's no knock on them. That's just the style of their offense.
Right. Absolutely. So We'll see what happens, but we also saw what happens. But I mean, you can load 8 guys in the box, and Mr. Perez is still going to make you pay somehow, some way. Everybody, it's like Genty. Everybody knows he's getting the ball. How do you bring him down, though?
Can't stop him. Theme of the night so far: stiff arms.
Stiff arms, the running backs.
How was your stiff arm?
Yeah, that I could use some work. But man, the 6A playoffs, they're continuing over in East Idaho tonight.
East. The east of Idaho.
Crucially
Madison
east.
hosting Boise. The Brave kicking off the game to get started. Brennan Dredge is back receiving for the Bobcats. He gets Madison off to a great start. Watch this return. The blockers set up a nice path for him to go up the sideline, find some space across the 50 into Boise territory before being taken out of bounds. Bobcats will get a field goal on the drive. How about the first drive for the Brave? Down 3-0. Logan McDonald, he finds a big hole, rips it up the middle, moves the chain. Same drive. Let's go Wayne Bauer. He's going to roll to his left. That's the quarterback. Watch it here. And he flings it. Receiver not there, though. Mason Phillips has a beat on it and says, "This is my field, not in my house." Gets the interception for the Bobcats, takes it back to midfield. A Boise penalty would put Madison even deeper into Brave territory. Bobcats, they would take advantage. Far side of the end zone. What a grab there. What a ball. Micah Doherty, Baden Wheeler drops it right in the bucket right there for the touchdown. They jump out to a 10-0 lead. Boise trying to bounce back, facing a fourth down. Bauer.
It's
a wide open Eli Rich. And he's pushed out of bounds into the 30-yard line. Drive continues for the Brave. How about another fourth down? This time Bauer goes to McDonald. Saw that lower the shoulder there. Gets enough for another Brave first down, but ultimately it would not be enough as Madison hangs on in a tight one, 17-14.
That is a tough place to go and win on the road. You got to credit Boise, though. This whole season, they've had a young team. Wayne, the guy's a freshman. I mean,
freshman quarterback.
He's dropping passes like that as a freshman. I think the future's pretty bright for the Brave. That is that's a heartbreaking way to end the season, though.
I'll give you a fun glimpse of when I was a freshman. Okay.
Let's wind back the clocks.
Wind back the clocks.
Let's go.
50 years ago,
That's
I was
right.
a freshman playing football. Thousand Oaks High School. I showed up to practice. There was one player. His name was Derek Jester, and he was 14 years old, but looked like he was 35. He was 6'4" and 225 pounds, all muscle.
And you started over him.
And I was like, this is football?
This is football? Yeah, I'm not tackling that guy.
It was tough. I'm just glad he was on our team.
Yeah, that's the guy you want on your colored jersey, for sure. Mountain View, they were taking on the Highland Rams, and man, did the Mavericks put their hooves down, if you will, 35-0.
Hooving it.
At half. Look at the stands. The students left early trying to beat traffic, make the Halloween parties. Everything working for Mountain View tonight. This is 4th and goal. Mavs knocking on the door again. QB Henry Nelson floats one to the senior Tyler Weaver, and Mountain View just piling it on.
Do we get the Uno reverse card today?
No reverse card. And instead, it's the Rams offense. They're trying to flip that reverse card, get a little magic going. Just not there tonight, unfortunately. Mountain View, they look like a brand new team this last couple of weeks. They win big, 45-7.
Let's go out to Vallivue for another big-time playoff football game. Close game against Blackfoot High, where at the half the score was 7-7. Vallivue scores in the first quarter. Shane Ozuna handing off to Sawyer Poole for a touchdown. Blackfoot Broncos, they would respond after the help of their offensive line. Push it in there. Austin Arabe throws a pass to a receiver, but this is going to be on the next possession here. We're talking about the quarterback, number 2 right there. He's going to throw a pass. Caught. Stopped in his tracks, though. We see a lot of this defense in the first half. Number 0, Cade Esplin, gets himself a first down in the second quarter.
Look at that throw.
Stopped by the Vallivue defense once again. Blackfoot High School beats Vallivue 24-13. Seems like a little bit of a defensive battle there.
Yeah, a little bit. And, we got Shea McClellan coaching Vallivue. It's great to see them back in the playoffs. They were kind of like Centennial when I was going through school a little bit. They didn't really do much in the world of football, but it's great to see them back in the postseason. Again, I think this is an opportunity for a new face to emerge in the playoffs and kind of get rolling. Tough way to end the season, though, in the first round. Blackfoot just looks too good.
Survive and advance, and who knows, maybe you can make some noise because when you win the first round matchup, you got to go face one of those bye schools, and there's 4 tough teams waiting for this next round of the postseason.
Yeah, this is going to be a loaded playoff bracket. But we got to get there first. We'll drop down to 5A action. It was a spooky night out at Bishop Kelly.
Arguably the best team in the state.
Arguably the best team in the sate. They've yet to lose. The Evatt Huskies came to meet the undefeated Knights, and the Knights would just control the ground with their running back. That's Ryan Ariano picking up the chunk yardage, and then it's Ben Avila. Look at that dot to Dom Wolthius in the end zone. And then next drive, it's Avila connecting with Jackson Brady. Tiptoes down the sidelines, put BK in scoring position here. I was one play ahead of myself here. Got to get some more coffee. I swear I'm hitting a wall every night at 10:58. And then they would just clean it up the rest. Look at this pitch out. And that's Areo who would run it in at the pylon for the touchdown. BK, as they've done all night, they would just run away
all
with
season.
it. All season. 56-14. That is a tough team. Unless we see something crazy and some kind of upset, I can't see anybody standing in their way at this point in time. This is a team that started with a win against Rigby High School, and they've gone on to this unbelievable 9-0, now 10-0 record.
I was there at that football game, defending champs Rigby at home. For the most part, pretty much handled them. I know Rigby dealt with some injuries, but BK looking impressive. That's a team above them as well. So look out for the Knights.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there's a lot of action that we were able to cover, even more that we weren't. This was very spread out across Idaho. Let's take a look at some of the scoreboards here tonight in 6A. We showed you those ones, of course. Rocky Mountain, Mountain View, taking care of business there. Madison just barely getting that edge over Boise on the road. But
what a shootout between Middleton and Capital.
The most points Middleton scored all season, and it comes against Capital. Remember, they played earlier in the season. I want to say it was 27-20 when they last played. It was somewhere in there. It was a one-score game, very competitive. So Middleton the train is off the tracks at this point. That Perez running back duo, that is tough to bring down. So we'll see them in the next round.
I was at the Rocky Mountain game, and a lot of people said that Highland was going to be the upset of the night over Mountain View.
Historically, they've been pretty good.
Yeah. Did not happen at all. 45-7.
Well,
Mountain View kind of making a little bit of a statement.
Put some respect on Mountain View's name, they say. They put their foot down. They say, look, we can compete in this league too. They've done it for years. So let's see them in the next round of the playoffs. Over to the 5A scoreboard. Ridgeview season came to an end against Twin Falls. They got blanked 38-0. And Columbia's season ending to Century dropping the hammer on them 49-21. That was a team, they were just excited to make the playoffs. That was their goal this year, get back into the playoff competition, and they surged back this year. They deserve a lot of credit for how well that team's played this year.
If you were to say an underdog story, whether it's 5A or the 6A that we just saw, do you have an underdog story in your mind?
I feel like it might be Columbia.
Okay, there you go.
They had a shortened roster. It's kids that hadn't really had a lot of success in years past, and they came together and they told me at the start of the season, look, we're here to make a statement. We can play football. It's just putting the pieces together, and we were able to see them do that out in, in the 2C area. Gosh, I don't know why I'm blanking over in Nampa.
No, yeah.
Sorry.
I was just going to say, we kind of see this at all levels, right? When the teams have a bye, sometimes it hurts them, especially across all sports. We're talking MLB, football, basketball, it doesn't matter. In the NFL, you've seen it. Remember the undefeated Patriots? They got defeated by the New York Giants. That was a team that just came in and got hot in the postseason. Nobody thought that they were going to win a Super Bowl. Right? So maybe nobody thinks Columbia is going to win a state title. I'm not saying they are. I'm just saying they could be the underdog story. They get hot. They got confidence going into next week. That's what it's all about. You get hot, you stay hot, you be confident, look good, feel good, play good. That's it. You move on.
Well, and in a 5A conference where you're just constantly overshadowed by a team like Bishop Kelly, I mean, it's hard to kind of make those headlines, right? And to say, no, we are really good. We can compete with these guys too. I like what they were able to show this year. I think it was a great start to get back into the competitive atmosphere. super happy. It's disappointing their season came to an end, but the playoffs is something you can hang your hat on.
I'm really excited for the 6A second round next week.
Eagle
we get a
Rocky.
chance to see Eagle Rocky.
Man.
That is going to be unbelievable. Rigby obviously will be in action as well. Timberline, the #1 seed. Who would have thought Timberline at the beginning of the season? When I talked to some people, they said they wouldn't put them in the top 3.
Right.
Which they beat pretty much everybody. The only team they lost to, that Middleton team, on a very wet, rainy night when they couldn't, deliver their bread and butter, which is throwing the football. Jack Brandt, Hudson Lewis, obviously, Lucas Thompson. I mean, those guys are phenomenal. And you give them some perfect weather, look out. The Wolves.
Well, you know what we don't
Wolves are ready.
You know what we don't get in Idaho in November is perfect weather.
Perfect weather.
So we'll see how that plays out as we get deeper into this, because this might turn into Middleton's kind of weather running the football.
Rushing the football. That's all you need. When it's raining outside, give it to Perez.
Give it to number 19. Well, we got some awesome plays tonight. We mentioned the theme of tonight's was the stiff arm.
Rashawn Jones, Mr. Grizzly himself. Look at this one. Had to slow it down for you. Nasty stiff arm up the sideline. That's top play number 3, Grizzlies roll.
Over to number 2 here. Ryan Brecky, man.
Same game.
Same game, different player, and you know what? I know the scoreboard isn't going to make this feel good, or any better, but man, that stiff arm was nasty work by Ryan.
He's going to have a highlight that he can hold on to. Like, look, hey, we got smoked, but check this out.
So did number 1.
Yeah.
Bam. Yeah. and then over to number 1. We couldn't really choose the top play, so we blended the running game over at Middleton. How about Jake Perez dropping the hammer?
How many booms is that? 1 boom?
1 boom, 2 booms, and how about this? Ryan Lewis just throwing his defender down. He takes a lick at the end, but I doubt he even felt it with how good that stiff arm must have felt. That Middleton running team, that duo, is just crazy. You wouldn't believe that guy's only 6 foot, 185 pounds. He is running like he's a 220-pound man.
Little bowling ball, muscle hamster.
Absolute muscle hamster.
Shout out.
Yeah, some Doug Martin-esque running abilities on that Middleton team.
I didn't know a music producer could run the football so
I'm
well.
glad we figured it out because, man, he's a multi-talented guy. Good to see him. I'm sure he gets that joke all the time, so sorry, Ryan. But hey, don't
Probably
forget.
doesn't even know who Ryan Lewis is.
I know. Did that age us?
We might just age ourselves a little bit, yeah.
Well, you saw the Broncos graphic there. They're taking on Fresno State tomorrow. It's the battle for the milk can.
Milk can.
And that game, once again, on national TV, Fox Sports 1. And it's going to kick off at 1:30.
Don't forget to join us. We'll have the Bronco Roundup pregame show, Bronco Roundup game day show after the Saturday morning news at 9 a.m. to let you know all about Bronco football, the storylines, key players to watch out for, keys to the game. You got to watch out for us. And then, of course, join us an hour before the field for another episode of the Bronco Roundup game day show.
And if you don't want to listen to us, that's okay. You can just get that information against Fresno State, the history behind the trophy. Just text that number on your screen there, 208-321-5614. And we've built a game day guide that has all of this information. You can access in-depth player profiles, detailed information on the matchup, the uniform combo, so much more, all at your fingertips and at your convenience. I do want to say I must be tired that I can give you the license plate of where Canyon County is, but I can't name it tonight in Nampa when talking about Columbia. So sorry about that. In the 2C is what I said earlier. So
Don't look at me.
I know it. I know. I'm looking at you guys. So sorry about that, everybody. But we're running on fumes here. We'll be back here bright and early in the morning. I'm excited.
I'm excited too. Battle for the milk can. Can't wait for it. We got 2 shows tomorrow. Be sure to tune into that. We got a lot of great content coming. Can't wait.
Absolutely. We might wear our costumes
Go Dodgers.
once again. Go Dodgers.
Dodgers are alive. We got a Game 7 tomorrow. Don't forget about that as well.
See you tomorrow.
Continue with us and watch free now on the KTVB Plus app everywhere you stream.